I do think like this is a scary thing that you learn when you first start working at like a company, as opposed to just like, programming, on your own in school or at home or whatever you were doing, is like, if you write something, it does not matter. Like, if you write something, there is a non-zero chance that it will be used for potentially decades. It does not matter if it is utter garbage. It does not matter if you tested it. It does not matter if you put a thing at the top that's like, do not use this, it will destroy the world. It does not matter. Like,
Trash
people will just deploy stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's not even a possibility for me. My code is definitely still running in production 10 years previously.
I was at a meet and greet, and someone came up and said, "Hey, I work at Netflix." And I was like, "Uh-oh." And he's like, "Yeah, I've seen your code multiple times." I'm like, years later, there it still is. All right, let's go, baby. And so it does happen. And by the way, I personally think this is why A/B testing sucks. I'm going to throw this out there. Hot take coming in. Is because with A/B testing, you kind of go like a little bit more Rambo style, a little bit cowboy coding, and you go out there and make like a less supreme experience because you just want to be able to do this kind of test, see if it's better for the customers, blah, 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 blah. You get it out there, and we know every single time what happens. All right, well, we are going to go on to the next A/B test. We're just going to put that in production. No need to productionize it. We'll just let it go as is, and boom, you're off to the next one. And
Classic.
Bam, all of your crappy ideas caught. 4K cinema.
Then you move on to the next A/B test.
It's true. Just move right on.
What happens?
When I was at Epic, there was a bunch of like a serious amount of code that was still unchanged from like the 70s or something. Like, I don't remember how long ago it was, but it still had Judy Faulkner at the top, CEO. She wrote some stuff, and you're like, dang, that's crazy cool.
In COBOL.
Well, it was in mumps. So
Mumps, right.
Oh, yeah, the
Mumps.
Let's say the
mumps.
coding style looked a lot different in those ones from like the 70s or 80s. They had developed some conventions that fixes, but it was like, whoa, that is insane. You just stumble on it and like unchanged forever. Like, I'm closing this file. I don't even want to have access to this. I don't. This is load bearing for real.
Oh, man, because if there's been a bug there's countless customers that are relying on that bug to exist. Like,
there's billions of dollars residing on that bug. You do not fix or touch this. You close your editor and walk away for a little bit if you accidentally end up in there.
That's funny. I've had a very similar thing happen where I was chasing down a bug for Computers Unlimited back in the day, which then later became known as Total Information Management System, which is like how a bunch of industrial medical like planning for equipment and shipment of, oxygen tanks and all that. And it's just like, oh, yeah, Beast Code. Beast Code worked there. And one of them, it was just like, oh, I have to go into Synergy land. Oh, what's Synergy? And it's just like this whole other language. It is old as me. It's like old as dirt. And I'm just like, I can't touch this language. I refuse. Like, if I touch this, I'm breaking everybody. I don't know how to test it. I don't know what the outcomes are. I don't know who's relying on this. I'm like 22 years old, and they're like, just fix this bug from the 80s. And I'm like, no, I'm not touching it.
I did a really bad one at Rad Game Tools. Like, definitely the worst thing I've ever done in my career by far. So we didn't have like a build system of any kind, because back then there was like only like GNU Make or Visual Studio's like built-in one. There was not much for cross-platform build things at all. So I'm like, okay, cool, we got to get this stuff running on like Mac as well and things like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna make a build utility, like this famous worst decisions of all time. So I make this build utility called CDEP, and it is absolute garbage. Like, it's basically like it has one really kind of cool idea. Like, I liked the idea of it, which is that you don't write separate build things. Just it reads the comments of your source code, and that is how it does the build. So I'm just like, this is great. So like, here's how it's going to work. And again, all of this stuff is like fairly new at the time. So the things I'm saying are not de rigueur at this time. I'm thinking these are like really cool, like innovative things. You're just going to point it at one C file. It's going to spider out from there. It's just going to like parse the includes. It's going to figure out all the things that it should depend on. It's just going to do it. So you don't have to make files. You don't have to list the dependencies. You're just going to point at the thing and go. And if you need any kind of build stuff, you just put it in the comments, right? In the comment, you just say like, here's the build parameters I want.
It
whatever.
Sounds nice. Like, I mean, that is like a, theoretically.
Right? And if you don't know, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're like, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
I still think it could be great, Casey.
Yeah, well, you and me when I was 22 or whatever it was. Anyway, so I write this thing, and I don't know anything about how to do the I don't really think it through. I'm not good enough to like figure out how to do it well. So really what it ends up being is sort of like just a string replacement kind of language. So you like, you can define stuff in this, like in your comments, you can define something, and really all that's going to do is just replace that thing with whatever you defined it to be. That's all it could do. And it does this by like literally string rewriting. So all it is like if you said like foo is now this crap, then anytime it sees foo in the things that's doing, it just replaces it with that. And that's it. You get there's nothing else. It doesn't have anything else. And to the extent that it has conditionals at all, they're just like it won't rewrite the thing. That's it. Right?
So you reinvented preprocessor macros?
Yeah, it's preprocessor macros at build time. That's what it was. It's preprocessor macros at build time. That's what it was. So this thing is a tremendous pile of garbage. It's horrid, right? And the worst part is it's the worst kind of horrid. It's the kind of horrid that seems good at first, right? Because you're like, the first time you point this thing at like a C program and it builds the whole thing and the dependencies all work, and so you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yep. I just like revolutionized the build process for the world. I'm amazing, right? And you don't realize that actually what you did is just fucking destroy like everyone's attempt to build things at this company for the next like 30 years. So that, I did that, and Jeff Roberts, who's the guy who runs Rad Game Tools, excellent programmer. Excellent programmer. He goes like, oh, cool. Okay, so someone made this like little build utility. That's great. I can now start modifying it to do what I want. And what Jeff wants is always for things to run very efficiently. That's what he wants. So he adds like multi-threading, like distributing it on cores, all this stuff. He optimizes like the thing so it runs faster. All the while, no core improvements to this thing because it's still just a string replacement thing. Rad ships on dozens of platforms. More platforms than any company I've ever seen.
No.
It ships on everything. Like, it's like from like Game Boy Color to like, Amazon's, special ARM server deployment. They run on everything. So he builds this giant, like all the builds, scripts and stuff. He builds all of like the compile time settings, all that stuff. There's like tens of thousands of lines of CDEP code by the time he's done with it after several years. It builds all the stuff for the video depressor, all that stuff. Now, to this day, I am told the rad builds still run on CDEP. It is undebuggable. It is completely unreadable. It's huge amounts of institutional knowledge that Jeff has built up to build on every platform known to mankind and to distribute the builds. It is so insane. So like literally, I don't know what to say other than like I have created so much pain and suffering for that company just by creating this freaking terrible utility. If I had just done a better job on that, it would have saved... I don't even want to know how many hours people have lost spending trying to figure out why their builds don't work because of this piece of junk.
Is the dep in CDEP short for depressed?
It should be. It should be.
Casey, you truly sound like a 10x engineer. The truest 10x engineer makes 10x more work for everybody else.
That is what I did.
Yeah, that
because
is
just
beautiful.
literally the not having this tool would have been much better.
Yeah.
Right?
Casey.
Because then Jeff would have like made if he ever did all of that work, he would have made it in something much less crappy. Like he would have just opened up a C file and made his own little build utility that wouldn't have sucked, right? So it's like I basically took all of this other work that was actually useful and I made it suck by having it start with something awful that it never got rid of. And
Casey,
multiple people have had to come on and like fix crap, like or try desperately, but there's only so much they can do because now there's this huge unparsable, gigantic, like, tens of thousands of lines of build knowledge about like how do you properly do a annotated debug build of a GameCube binary from like, the year 2001 or something like that, right? And so and no one wants to fix that. No one's going to rewrite that. So I basically ruined that entire, it was awful. It's really bad.
Casey, I just wanted to say this will make a lot more sense after Prime does his Tom talk, but we just got to say, Casey is a genius.
Casey is a genius.
Yeah.
I agree.
That was a real genius move.
That is a real genius move. Hey, is that HTTP? Get that out of here. That's not how we order coffee. We order coffee via SSH, terminal.shop. Yeah, you want a real experience? You want real coffee? You want awesome subscriptions so you never have to remember again? Oh, you want exclusive blends with exclusive coffee and exclusive content? Then check out Cron. You don't know what SSH is? Well, maybe the coffee's not for you.
Terminal coffee in hand.